You're true and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy. And today I want to talk about scrapping ships. Is that really something you should do? So once you have the scrapyard, you are able to scrap ships. But I know I have a lot of players that just started playing the game, watching my videos, and so I immediately want to tell you, you will not want to do it early in the game. But I still want to show you how it's done, what you see there, and when really is the time to do that. So we need to have a look at the scrapyard for a second, and you find it when you look at the bottom right of the screen. Next to system, there's the exterior of your station. You need to click that, click your station, and then right next to the hologram there with this recycled sign, there is the scrapyard. And if you click that, you see what ships you can scrap. And you see, first of all, there are very early ships of the game. And secondly, you see that there's one ship that's not there, although I still have all those small ones. And that is the Rialta. That is the first ship you have when you start the game, and that is a ship that you cannot scrap. That's the first important point here. But you also see I've got the Orion Corvette, I've got the ECS Fortunate, Envoy, and so on. And they are all low level except the ESC Fortunate, because I did scrap them at some point when I was really in need of material. But you see, they don't bring a lot. And there might be another reason why you want to scrap a ship, because there is a ship limit. That's what I'm going to talk about in another video as well. You cannot have as many ships as you want at the same time. And so at some point when you need to build another ship and you have built too many, you need to scrap one. And you can do it here. You see the list of scrappable ships, etc. And you can sort it when you, under the information button, where you get a lot of information about scrapping itself. There is something where you can sort the ships. And when I go to strength, suddenly my Rialta appears, although it does not appear if I click scrappable. So you can see all your ships here if you click the strength, for example. So you can see them all. But I can tell you right now that you cannot scrap all that you see here. And that's all the ships that I have at the moment. But scrappable ends, even for me, with a jellyfish. And all the other ships you just saw you don't see. Because what kind of ships you can scrap is depending on the level of your ship, of your scrapyard. And that's what it says here as well. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh yeah, upgrade to allow scrapping of more advanced ship classes and to increase scrapping speed. Scrapping speed is another thing I'm going to talk about later. But these ships that you can scrap will give you certain resources. And for example, I have a level 45 Mayflower, and if I want to scrap that, you see I get a lot of stuff. And that's something I'm gonna scrap today, by the way, but I didn't do it earlier because I wanted to show you this. And it starts with the lowest ships. As I said, even the ECS Corvette, it's only level 20, so it's not much you get, but you get uncommon refined gas and uncommon refined crystal for it. And it always makes only sense if you scrap something and if you want some rewards for it, to scrap it at max level. And you see, I am a bit of a ship collector, so I at least try to have one of each in my store. And so after I scrapped some, I rebuilt them. That's why the Orion Corvette is level 1, the Envoy is just level 5, the Findra is level 20, but I'm scrapping. I scrapped them at some point for other ships, but I rebuilt them and only upgraded them again when I passed that, what they are good for if I needed to spend material for material events or something. In the early times, you really have to think hard if you can afford to scrap these ships. But at the point, for example, where you get the VAR class, which is a ship that will bring you through a lot of levels until you get your first faction ships, to upgrade the VAR class, because that is a ship you should upgrade a lot. To do that, you might want to scrap some of your early ships when they are upgraded, because the VAR class, of course, needs a lot of material to upgrade, and it will be your very important ship on the early levels as soon as you can build it. When you reach the point where you build the VAR class, really do upgrade that one, because that ship will get you far. Because you don't, I know everybody loves the Kumari, but once you build the VAR class, you don't really need a Kumari or anything else until you get to the point where you build your Legionary or your Mayflower or your D3. And that is the nice thing about the VAR class. But to upgrade the VAR class, you will need to scrap some of the lower ships. But that's, I said, you will not do it in the very beginning. But when you have the VAR class, that is the point where you might start scrapping ships to get the rewards for it. If you look at the Tala, for example, it's too low to show you really what it brings. But the Findra, for example, also brings uncommon refined gas, 3-star gas. And that is what you need for the VAR class, for example. And the Tala will do the same, and the Kera will do the same. If you can sacrifice those, then you will be able to get that. Because the VAR class is a common 3-star ship, but you will need 3-star material for it. And so scrapping the Kera, the Tala, the Findra will all give you material. Once you upgrade them a little bit further, that will help the VAR class, not the Kera, but the Tala and the Findra. They will help you upgrade the VAR class. And the VAR class really is an important ship. Another thing about the scrapping is the Ferengi Devore you see. If I scrap the Ferengi Devore, I will get Devore Advanced Data Cores. And those you need to build the Devore Fischer. Of course, I will not scrap it at the current level where I only get 30 of them at level 33. But you might want to think about scrapping it at level 40, because from 40 to 45 it's quite hard, but 35. Once you get 60 Devore Advanced Data Cores here, it might be a good point to do that and not to max it, because it gets very expensive from that point, and you need 120 for the Devore Fischer. It might be easier to have 2 Devores after another, because first of all you get the Devore from the monthly chest, so there you get more blueprints. And when we have events like at the moment the Contained Thalaron event, those events are 3 times a year, you might easily get another Devore. And if you upgrade those until you get 60 advanced data cores when you scrap them, it might be the easier way to get a Fischer than to max a Devore really to maximum. That's what I did though. This time I maxed my Devore and got the Fischer that way. And another thing, don't know where I put them, are the Stellars. I made a video about that already, but about the second Stellar, and you see I have 2. The Stellar is something you will scrap a lot, because if you look at what I get for a max Stellar, it's 467,000 stellar particles. That is the reason why I scrap it over and over again. One of those. One I always keep maxed, but you know, just a few days ago on the second Stellar video, I scrapped one and now it's maxed again. So when you get higher and can do bigger armadas and more grinding in the Apex event with higher hostiles, you get this stuff easily to max the Stellar again once you rebuild it, because you get the Stellar hull scan here, and with that for free you get the blueprints back in the Rogue store. So Stellar is another point why the scrapping is so important. And then on my level, with 4-star ships, yeah, the Jellyfish is the only one you can see here, but when I go to strength, you see that I have some other ships here, like the Kelvin, the Katinga, the Vildor, and now the Corinar. They need material that you cannot get from the smaller ships. For this, you need to scrap a Mayflower, a D3, or a Legionary, and that is what I do regularly. And that's why you see a maxed Mayflower here again, and you see an almost maxed Legionary here again, because I need to scrap them, because if I scrap the Mayflower, as I've shown you before, I get 4-star material. So when you have a Mayflower, a Legionary, a D3, whatever, don't max them when you get them, because when I stay with the Federation, the Mayflower is a nice ship, but when you have it, I suppose you work hard on getting quickly to the Saladin. That is a ship that will bring you far until you have the epic one. The Saladin is the faction ship that you can do a lot with, and the Saladin is the one to max. So that is the class to max, not the Mayflower Legionary D3 class. The Saladin, the Bortas, the Centurion, those are the ships you should max so that you get far in the game. So the Mayflower D3 Legionary you will max later, because when you're level 40 plus, that's the time where you need to do it, to scrap them, like I will do very soon, to get the 4-star material you need for upgrading your 4-star ships. And those you get in the 40 plus range. And then the Mayflower, the Legionary, and the D3 are important for scrapping. But they're not important for your gameplay when you are on that level. The Saladin is the important ship. And then the rares like Intrepid, Gladius are not important again, because you see I have those two, but I never max them, because after the Saladin, the next important ship is the epic one, the Enterprise, the D4, and what did I forget? The Augur. So, but that much about the scrapping of those. The North Star is a nice ship, but I would never scrap. You see, I incidentally somehow got 2 times the blueprints. I must have made a mistake somewhere, so I don't have a max North Star anymore because I did scrap it. But that's a ship I don't scrap, because I'm a ship collector. So in the end, I want to have one of each of those ships in my shipyard. But nevertheless, I do not max every ship, and that's always the important part. But as I said, for the early ones, max lower ships for the VAR class. So no, don't max lower ships, I mean scrap lower ships for the VAR class. Then you need to scrap the Devore for Devore Fischer, and you need to scrap the Stellar for the particles for research. And then when later you need to scrap Mayflower, Legionary, and D3 for your 4-star ships. And that is so far what I want to tell you, because I know that the most of my viewers have not reached higher levels than me. So then I'm not going to that point at the moment, but that is the most important for new players to know, and especially the part with the VAR class and scrapping lower ships for that one. But before that, you don't really need to scrap ships. when you have the var class, that's the point where you start thinking about it. And as usual, if you have anything to add to what I said, or if you have questions or video requests, because I made some request videos recently again, please do write a comment under the videos. I'm always happy to read them. And of course, if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. And I'll see you there. I'll be back.